Is it possible for you, an INFJ, to enjoy today more? If so, how? What can you do to experience more contentment? Stick around for today's show to learn 5 strategies that can help you enjoy the moment more. One of the biggest challenges of being an INFJ is that we want everything to be perfect. We're idealists, so we're always thinking about the best possible outcome or some way that we can improve the here and now. And as a result, we look at almost every area of our life, be it relationships, work, or even a pet project, and we want to do it absolutely perfectly. But that can create problems for ourselves and for the other people in our lives. So if we're smart, one of the best things we can do for ourselves is prioritize. We need to realize that we can't do everything perfectly. There are some projects that are just going to be less important than others. And taking some time to really think about what's most important to you and what you can realistically do well or very well up to your standards will save you and others a lot of hassle. To give you a quick example, at work, I used to try to do everything perfectly. I'm a teacher and I obviously teach students. So I'll come up with some sort of creative project or activity or lesson and want it to be something of high quality. And when I first got started, I wanted all my lessons to be exceptional. I wanted all the creative work that I did to be perfect. But that started to eat into my time with friends and family and exercise. And it just was bad. And that's true of anybody who tries to focus solely on one thing. And I'm still tempted to do that in other areas of my life. But when I decide to work on a few things and do them really well and to just get other things done, well, that saves a lot of time and heartache. So if you can figure out when to focus and what you're going to prioritize most, that'll help a lot. And it may not be at work. It might just be differentiating between, okay, work's important to me and relationships are important to me, but these relationships with my family are ultimate. So I'm going to do a good job at work, but I'm going to make sure I'm home by a certain time to spend it with my family. And maybe that's not the specific example for you, but it might be with something else, like between work and exercise or work and study or whatever you're working through. Just figuring out what your priority is and what you really want to do well will save you a lot of pain. A related idea is fitting your tasks to your time. So while you need to know what's most important in your life, whether it is your spiritual growth or your work or your relationships, it's also important to realize that depending on your week and your workload and your responsibilities and other commitments in your life, you'll only have so much time to complete certain activities. And when you try to make everything perfect and you exceed the amount of time that you really should be spending on something, it's going to be robbing from another area of life. And I know you know this intuitively, but really taking some time to think about it is helpful. At least it was for me. So when you have a project that you're working on, a personal project or a commitment, maybe for church or some other community group, or maybe you're working on a special project at work, whatever you're working on, keeping in mind that you have a certain amount of time that you can reasonably get it done in, and then deciding to do the best job you possibly can in that amount of time will really help you relax and give you a more reasonable outlook. And that'll save you from getting too idealistic. When you realize that this is what other people are doing and that it's okay to do the best you can in the time that you have to work, that'll help you to relax and save you pain as well. Let me share a phrase or a mantra with you that I found enormously helpful when I really got it. And it was this: sometimes good enough is good enough. When you consider your priorities and you consider the amount of time you have to complete a task, you need to also reconcile with the idea that you can make something that's good. It may not be perfect, but it's good, and that's good enough, depending on how much of a priority it is for you. Now, if it's your uttermost priority, then you do want to do it well if you have the time to do it. But for most things, we need to learn as INFJs that good enough is good enough. I was reading through some Myers-Briggs material recently, and the section on INFJs had a note that said something to the effect that INFJs are highly tempted to miss out on the perfectly good things around them because they're so zeroed in on what could be and how to make life perfect. And that is such a great word picture of what most of us wrestle with. At least I can relate to that personally. And I bet you can relate to it as well. I know INFJs that I've met certainly struggle with this as well. Oftentimes we'll miss out on the perfectly good things in our lives that are around us because we're so hyper focused on how to make it better. So remembering that sometimes good enough is good enough, and then thinking about what we have to enjoy around us is really a great way to stop and enjoy the moment more as well. Strategy number 4 is to practice being grateful. This one is maybe the best of them all. And I'm sure you've heard it before, but if you really take time to do it, it can make an enormous difference in your life. Stopping to think about what you're thankful for and to give thanks for it can boost your mood and change the way you see the world altogether. Recently, before we were going to bed, my wife and I have taken a minute or two to share 3 things that we're thankful for and 3 wins for the day. I got that idea from Michael Hyatt of michaelhyatt.com. And this strategy has really just helped us end the day on a great note. And I'd say over time, it's helped us to maintain a more positive attitude. But even throughout the day, stopping to think about what I'm thankful for has encouraged me significantly. There have been times at work that I've been discouraged, and my mentor recommended that I think before I leave about 3 things that I'm grateful for, and just trying to think about a few things that I can be thankful for has really helped to change my attitude. Looking for the bright side, being realistic, but looking on the bright side can change how you feel about the moment, even when you know that something better, more perfect is possible. The last idea that I'll leave you with today is to create more often. And this one is probably the easiest of all of the 5 strategies that I've shared because it comes so naturally to you and me as INFJs. We're creative people and we love to make things. We love to take the ideas we get from what we read or what we listen to, from conversations or from observations, and to synthesize them and to put them together through a medium, be it a computer program or an instrument or some kind of art, whatever it is that you get excited about doing and making. That is a great way just to enjoy the moment. Because when we get engrossed in that creative project and that thing that we're making, it is a release and a great way to really appreciate the way we're wired and the things that we can do, and more importantly, the moment. If you don't already have a regular routine where you have time in your day to create, if it's not built into your job or you just haven't carved it out in the morning or evening, I'd really encourage you to make time to focus on a hobby, something restorative that you like to do that allows you to create. You'll be amazed by how much better this will make you feel, how much joy this will bring you, and how it'll help you be more content in the moment today. Want to learn even more ways that you can enjoy today and live a fuller life as an INFJ through understanding your personality? Then grab a free copy of my recent book, The INFJ Personality Guide. You can grab a copy by texting the letters INFJ to the number 444999, or you can visit ispeakpeople.com/INFJ-personality-guide. In this guide, you will get a deep look into the mindsets that drive your personality, and you'll also hear about some common problems that INFJs face, as well as solutions to those problems. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do that. I'm creating new content each and every week for INFJs just like you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.